David, and when I grow up, I'm gonna be an environmentalist. See, I'm a country boy at heart. I grew up as a young man down south in the bayous of New Orleans. It was always hot and humid. Insects grew to the size of your fists. The environment provided many exciting adventures for me as a very curious kid. I fell in love with birds. I thought I was one. You ever tried to balance yourself sitting on a fence? Yes, I was a weird kid. I used to climb trees and steal birds' eggs, try to incubate and hatch them. Once I raised a pair of pigeons. This was so exciting because as a kid, walking home from school with the other kids, and to have a pair of birds fly over you and hover over you as they did me while I was walking home made me feel very special. I mean, the other kids just looked in amazement to see these birds fly to me and land in my hand. I mean, I know why they flew to me. It was 3:15. They were hungry. It was feeding time and I was late getting home from school. So animals took a special place in my heart and life. You have but to take care of them and raise them to know they value life too. During the summertime when the turtles lay their eggs on the land, they'd hatch and to get back to the water, they had to cross railroad tracks on the levee where they would get stuck in between tracks. So we would get buckets, walk down the railroad tracks, picking them up, and we would sell them to Kmart type stores. I was a very nerdy kid, and I grew up to be a nerdy adult. I went on to graduate college, become a school teacher, then to become a computer engineer and worked in this industry for some 30 years. And I had a very fulfilling life. So I have a lot to give back. Although my years as an engineer were very fulfilling, I found my niche of dealing with the aftermeal, our leftover food waste. I took a class as a master gardener. That class put my hands back into the soil. That class opened my eyes to my past. It made me see the light of what's important to life. As a master gardener, you become a CSI agent, an ecological crime scene investigator. Your responsibility is to listen to customer calls and try to analyze what the problem is that they're calling in about. A call will go like, hello, why are my plants' leaves turning yellow with holes in them? I would have to ask a series of questions to determine the history of the plant. Where did you plant it? What zone does this plant grow best in? What insects do you see in your yard? Did you put any pesticides down? Which ones? What is the lifetime effectiveness of the part of the pesticides that you put down? Did you water regularly? Until we could figure out the likely events to cause the plant to look like that. These studies and others made me keenly aware of Earth's soil. I came to study and learn the earthworm and why it's so beneficial to Earth with its five hearts, how it uses microbes to eat and break down its food in its gizzard, how it lives as a morphodite, how it can reproduce by itself, and if you can really cut it in half and it still lives, how it is one of the only creatures that through its waste produce castings is one of the most important creatures God placed on earth. As it crawls through organic debris, it munches its way, leaving macro and micro trace elements of minerals and deposits as it goes. And in its wake, nutrient plant life by producing air tunnels in the soil, providing life-giving nutrients to the earth, our mother. Worms eat organic matter. Most all elements made of paper, wood, and organic matter is food for a worm, which made me wonder why we humans put all of our leftover trash and leftover vegetable waste into plastic bags. Seems like we're cheating Mother Earth from natural nutrients by placing these items in a plastic bag. We should be composting it. And I believed in composting so much, I started preaching about composting. You see, water is a universal solvent. It mixes freely with all elements. We need water. Every creature on earth needs water. Our earth needs water. However, humans' use of it is causing massive damage to our ecosystems both on land and in the oceans. Although the American sanitation sewer system is the best in the world, it has a hole in it, and that hole is the black liner bag. As you very well know, ice is the primary conditioner for most of the drinks humans consume. Did you know that leftover ice in drinks contributes to trillions of gallons of fresh gray water, which goes into our collective waste system daily? The black liner bag. You can easily say garbage is being created. Garbage is not grown on trees, nor can it be mined. It is created by the human act of depositing of liquids in the same bag as post packaging, causing creation of liquid garbage. We are taught to dispose of cups of liquid in the bag. We are being taught to create garbage. This bag has transformed into Pandora's bag, as it contains agents which cause cancers, Lou Gehrig's disease, autisms, and other unknown health issues. Once liquids are in the bag, cross-contamination makes it toxic, polluted water. The addition of liquids entering the bag causes all other elements in the bag to transform. Water on paper turns into mush. Water on metal causes corrosion. It breaks down most material into micro levels, which infiltrates most marine life, thusly getting back into our food chains and thusly our bodies. This toxic liquid has a direct relationship to climate change, global warming, and water wasteland environment destruction. Just as smoke pollution goes up into the sky mixing with moisture to cause acid rain, falling back down to earth as toxic poison. The same phenomenon occurs in the black liner bag. Water therein mixes with the acidic-based trash products to cause garbage acid rain, which spills from the bags when squoze together in the back of the garbage truck. These liquids are freely allowed back into our environment, contaminating all and freely blowing back into our yards as paper does on the wings of the wind. There is no containment of this contaminated toxic mess within city dumps and landfills. There is no attempt to clean up nor test the contagion in any city dump or landfill. Focusing the spotlight on the decline of invertebrate creatures, which receive significantly less attention than vertebrate animals in the discussion of biodiversity loss. The signs of death are everywhere if you look. For years, scientists have rung the alarm bells, warning that grave declines in animal biodiversity around the globe herald the onset of what will be Earth's sixth mass extinction. I was an environmentalist way back then. As of late, this is where I developed my theory of ice becoming a resource instead of a waste product. As I thought more and more about this act, I wondered, what if? What if? What if we humans we took a pledge, a simple pledge to save our earth by saving our water from Pandora's bag? What if we humans honored a pledge to do one simple thing? Stop poisoning our Mother Earth to death by pledging to do one simple thing. and it does not cost you a dime. A pledge to pay attention to our after meal leftovers. This simple act, if I, if you, if we all did one single thing and stopped placing liquids in the bag with other matter, what would become of what would becoming an after meal ambassador or an environmentalist do for the health of our planet? What would such a pledge of becoming an after meal ambassador do? What would it look like? It goes like this. I pledge to pay attention to my after meal leftovers by creating a compost pile in my backyard where I can compost stuff. I pledge to never introduce liquids into the black liner bag even when in a restaurant. I refuse to place cups of ice, beer, coffee, liquids into the garbage bag. I would request that owners put in some type of liquid waste receptacle in their establishment. Our bodies are 75% liquid. So are our diets. We humans throw away an average 1 pound of water each time we eat a meal. And we all eat 3 times a day. That's a tremendous amount of water being thrown away into the black liner bag, Pandora's bag. Disposing of liquids properly will save our earth a Pandora's bag full of problems. Please remember, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, liquids to liquid. This is a must. We need to be able to dispose of liquid waste properly. Honoring these 2 simple pledges can make all the difference in the world, because the world is a terrible place to waste. I'm Edward Jones. Thank you for listening.